Hi everyone, today I am going to share how I get my reading conferences started with my students. I'll share all the materials I use, the kind of questioning I use, and just how everything flows together. When starting your Readers Workshop, I think you have to keep in mind how conferencing is going to take the bigger chunk of your time. Just if you follow the model, you have to do strategy groups, you have to do individual conferencing, table groups, partnership conferencing. So all of these types of things are going to take time. My favorite type of conferencing is individual. That's when I get to really see how my readers are shining in my classroom, and I get to see what are their strengths and what are their weaknesses. One of the most essential parts of conferencing and how to get started is being organized, and for your students to know that you are coming to them. They know that they can't interrupt you because you're going to get time with them. And it's really hard at the beginning because they all want to come and share. But as you go through the Readers Workshop procedures and they notice that you will be coming to them, they'll stop doing that habit. I know my students are still getting started, but they're actually being really successful. Organization is honestly the best key I have for you. I have readers buckets. I have books that they get to choose and books that I choose for them. And those are books that we've previously read before as a strategy group or as a table group. So it's familiar text to them, but it's on their grade level. And the other ones are probably books that they picked up from my classroom library or our school library. So it's their choice book. I don't want to limit them to just having the books that I give them because they don't really fall in love. And sometimes the struggles that they have with their choice book will teach them more than the strategy group books that I give them. In their book boxes, students also have a little pencil pouch. They'll have a pencil, erasers, and sticky notes. The sticky notes have a different purpose depending on what we're working on or what they're working on as a reader. They can mark unknown words, they can stop, think, and jot. They can do little emotions of how they're feeling. They can write the theme. It just depends on what they're working on. Their books at the end of the week have sticky notes all over them, which it looks a little chaotic, but it is worth it because they are thinking about what they're reading. So it makes it really awesome. They also have a readers folder. In the readers folder, I usually have a picture of the anchor chart in their folder so they can tell me what they're working on. They have their reader's log where they're logging what books they're reading throughout this whole workshop model, and they also have a goal sheet. Their goal sheet has a little sticky note that just has goals in Spanish, and we are working on that together. Next time I conference with them, I ask about their goal. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Or what are you working as a reader right now? And either we are still working on the same goal or we've moved on to a different one. This folder is really important for them to keep everything organized, but it also has that ownership. Like, I have to write down how many books I read today. I have to write down my goal and how is it going. In our campus, we are an AFL campus. We are trying really hard for our students to take ownership of their own goals, and it's really nice when people from different classrooms, different schools, our district supervisors walk in to our classrooms and our kids are saying, as a reader, I am working on blank. I'm working on tricky words. I'm using cross-checking. It's really nice to just see them blossom into these beautiful readers. The most essential part of a readers conference is the questioning you'll have with your students. It's really important for you to have something in mind when you walk up to a student, but it could be a little daunting. So what I like to do is have the kids read for 5 minutes, and it kind of gives me time to get all my stuff ready, like sticky notes, pencils, my conferencing kit ready to go. Then I walk up to a student and I'm like, can you read out loud for me? And I do that for about like 2 to 5 minutes just to gauge what they're working on. And I start with giving them a glow, like something they're doing really well. And then I go on and I'm like, okay, I noticed that as a reader, you're doing this, or what are you struggling as a reader? And most of the time, your students are aware of what they're struggling. If not, we have this conversation of, what are you working on as a reader now? And for that, I use my anchor charts to guide them. I'm like, remember when we were working on this? Are you working on like scooping up bigger words? Are you working on reading more? Are you working on tricky words? So I kind of have the anchor chart with me as I'm conferencing with the kids, so they remember what they're working on. Or sometimes it's what we've been working on our interactive read aloud. So it's really interesting how they are paying attention when you're doing read alouds or when our mini lesson. They get those little strategies and they know the vocabulary already. The best advice I can give you about reading conferences is just to get started. You're not going to hurt the kids. I think they benefit from you going up to them and asking them these questions, because then they have to stop and they have to think about what they're reading. I used to do a lot of strategy groups for most of my Readers Workshop before, but I noticed that students weren't really doing a lot of the thinking and I was guiding a lot of it. But with Readers Conferences, one-on-one or table groups, my students really have to think about what they're going to tell me. So they are aware that I'm coming, so they are working harder for me. I've noticed a huge difference the last 3 years that I've been doing Readers Conferences with them, especially the one-on-one. I've seen how students are taking ownership of their own reading, how they're more engaged, and even their behavior during my reading blog has improved drastically. So just get started. I know it's a little scary, but it's so worth it to see them at the end of the year taking so many leaps and bounds in their reading. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope this video helped. If you have any questions, put them down below. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.